Good morning. We are with Professor Sabelo Ndlovu Gatsheni, who is the Director for Scholarship in the Change Management Unit in the Vice-Chancellor's Office at the University of South Africa, UNISA. He is also the former head of the Archie Mafeje Research Institute, AMRI, in UNISA as well. So Prof Ndlovu Gatsheni is a National Research Foundation rated social scientist, a member of the Academy of Science of South Africa, a fellow of the African Studies Center in the Netherlands, and a research associate of the Ferguson Center for African and Asian Studies at the Open University in the United Kingdom. So we are pleased to welcome him here today. Prof Ndlovu Gatsheni was yesterday delivering a talk at the London School of Economics here in London, and it was a very well attended lecture and very insightful, and we learned a lot. So Professor Ndlovu Gatsheni is authoring his last book with Sifamandla Zondi. The title is Decolonizing the University in Africa, Epistemologies and Discipline. Professor Ndlovu Gatsheni is also the author of Empire, Global Coloniality and African Subjectivity, published in June 2013. And last but not least, he also published, among other books, the Decolonial Mandela, The Justice, Peace and Politics of Life. So today we would like to have a conversation with him. Maybe a naive question to start with.
Yeah.
What do you think a decolonized or decolonial world look like?
A decolonial world is what we aspire to achieve. It's an aspiration, what people aspire to achieve, what we might call a utopic register. And such utopic registers and such aspirations are very hard to describe, but I will try by all means to actually anchor some of the issues which we think must actually signify and characterize a decolonized world. A decolonized world must first of all be a world where power is not organized asymmetrically, whereby there are those who are powerful at the top and those who are powerless at the bottom. That's one major component of a decolonized world, whereby you have horizontal power relations rather than vertical power relations. The second indicator of a decolonized world is whereby there is an acceptance that all human beings are actually born into knowledge system, and their knowledge are valid, and whereby there is not one singular knowledge which actually dominates all other knowledges. That's the second indicator of the world which we envisage, the horizon which we are looking towards. The third element of a decolonized world is whereby we don't have this situation which obtains currently of hierarchized being, hierarchized in accordance with the race, hierarchized in accordance with gender. We are actually talking about a world where there won't be social classification of human beings in accordance with assumed differential ontological densities. We are envisaging a world where there will be diversity, there will be plurality, but that plurality and diversity, that difference won't actually be the criteria of chances of life, who has chances of life and who doesn't have. That's the world which we are envisaging, and we are envisaging a world where the human species and the nature are actually in harmony. There is no this modernist interpretation of nature as a natural resource which is available at infinitum for human beings to exploit, where the human being actually locates himself or herself outside nature. That's a very stupid way of actually conceiving, because the human being is part of nature. That's basically will be the world. And perhaps the other important aspect of a decolonized world is whereby there is no hierarchization of human beings in accordance with their gender, what we call the patriarchized world, where the gender aspect won't actually be a criteria for oppression. Thank you.
It seems like what you're describing is a more inclusive world where there will be no power relations and so on. When you expose this idea, how do people react? Don't they think it is a bit utopic?
In fact, obviously, some will say it is millennial.
Yes, millennial.
Whereby every millennium you project into a better something.
Yes.
Some will say, obviously, it's idealistic. Mm-hmm. But what in decoloniality we're thinking about is that we're still struggling for perfection. Mm-hmm. Post-colonial thinkers, they say to aspire for perfection is to aspire for any possibility. But in decoloniality, we always say our slogan, another world is possible. Yes. So in other words, we still feel human agency mm-hmm. can actually be harnessed mm-hmm. to change the current world and make it better. Mm-hmm. It can't be perfect, but to make it better for ourselves.
And I will pick it from there. When you are kind of making a distinction between post-colonialism and decolonialism, mm-hmm. can you tell us more about the differences between the two?
In decoloniality, we're not obsessed with the differences. There are some ideas which actually come from post-colonial theory, which actually we use in decoloniality, bearing in mind that there is this inevitability that post-colonial theory and the decolonial theory, they are all emerging within a context of enslavement, a context of oppression, a context of apartheid. So they will share, obviously, some features, but they diverge also in terms of, I will try to maybe talk about the three areas of divergence. One is the genealogy of the thought. So we will argue in decoloniality that on whose shoulders do you stand on as a decolonial thinker, on whose shoulders do you stand on as a post-colonial thinker? There we diverge immediately, because the post-colonial thinkers, they always stand on Gramsci, they stand on Derrida, Michel Foucault, who